Welcome, welcome. Let's talk about adding UTMs to Facebook ads. Before we dive in, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. I am Manisha Mistry. I'm an instructor at measuremarketing.io. What does that mean? It means I work with our dedicated measurement marketing clients to help them harness the power of marketing data and make data-driven decisions. I am passionate about sharing my knowledge, so I'm back there in Winner's Circle, in Ask Instructor Support, answering questions. I love Looker Studio, BigQuery, and Analytics Canvas, so you want to geek out on those? Hey, hit me up. Now, let's talk about the Measurement Marketing Academy. The Measurement Marketing Academy is our flagship product. In the Academy, there are win courses, there are on-demand workshops, there is Ask an Instructor. Ask an Instructor is such a phenomenal place where you can ask questions just as you would if we were standing there with you, beside you at your desk. Show us what you're seeing, and we as instructors will help unblock you by sending you videos back. It is so valuable, and many of our members love Ask Instructor. Alrighty, stay tuned because at the end, I'm going to give you some tips on how you can take a look and learn more about the Academy. Now, before we dive in, I want to talk about the concept of one thing. We are all guilty of this, including myself, of grabbing multiple things when we try to do any sort of learning. Best advice we can give you before we start is grab one thing. Go master that one thing, come back, grab the next. Before you know it, you've mastered 10. Now, let's dive into adding UTMs in Facebook ads. Let's start. So, before we dive in, we need to talk about our measurement marketing framework. Our framework helps you go from marketing in the blind to marketing where you can reliably grow revenue and profit. There are 3 key pillars to the measurement marketing framework: plan, build, and launch. Plan is about questions, information, and actions. Knowing what questions you're going to ask, knowing what information you're going to collect to answer those questions, and what actions you're going to take when you have those answers, right? Results and traffic and story is about tying your results and traffic together and then having it tell you a story. And then launch is about listening to that story, forecasting that story, and then optimizing that story. To learn more about our framework, go to measurementmarketing.io. Alrighty, let's dive into Facebook Ads Manager and let's start getting UTM set up in our Facebook ads. Alrighty, so here we are in Facebook Ads Manager. In addition to having Facebook Ads Manager queued up, ready to go, we highly recommend you watch the workshop on our traffic tracking toolkit, which covers how to build UTMs and the best way to build UTMs so that you can have your traffic tell you a story. There is this tool covered in our toolbox. There is also a workshop on this, so you'll see that linked below. Okay, so once you have this completed and you have all your UTMs figured out, and now you are setting up your ads in Facebook, here's how you can add UTMs to your Facebook ads. So, all the good stuff on setting up your campaign and ad set needs to happen and your ad. Once you've entered all the information, like, the copy and the creative and all that stuff, when you come in your ad and you scroll down, you're going to see a section on destination. So this is where you'd put in the URL. So I would go in here and I'd grab the URL, okay? And I'd come back into Ads Manager and I'd pop my URL in there, okay? So that's my destination. I'm sending them to the Measurement Marketing Academy homepage. Maybe in my case, maybe I'm sending them, to the homepage, but I could also be sending them to the Academy page. So I just put in that URL here, okay? Now you come down and you want to add tracking. You want to look for the section that says tracking. Now what does this mean? It is right in the section where you can come all the way to the bottom and it says URL parameters. Now there's 2 choices for Facebook UTMs, okay? And this is actually where we're into them. You have a choice of dynamic and static. We're going to cover static first, and then we're going to talk about dynamic and how you can take advantage of dynamic. So if you were to click on this build a URL parameter, what it basically gives you is a pop-up where you can enter in the information you have in this spreadsheet right now. So for static UTM parameters, what you do is, as you can see, this is campaign source. So I'm going to pop back in the spreadsheet. I'm going to come down here and look for the column that says source, and I'm just going to grab this. And you want to use Facebook all the time for this, so you can just put in the word Facebook here, and there you have it. For median, coming back here, in this case, median is usually CPC. Some people use the PPC. We like to use CPC. Either one would work. You do want it to be 1. So if you're using CPC across all your ads, use CPC. If you're using PPC across all your ads, use PPC. Okay. Campaign name is going to be the product or service you're promoting. So in this case, I'm going to actually say this is the Academy. So pop it in here and just pop that in there. Okay? And then for content, so coming here. Now, these are the basics that are good enough to get going. So if you're really starting out, this is the first time you've done the UTM builder or UTMs, we'd recommend starting here. However, if you have planned the other stuff, like have you seen this? See, we have our term and content. You can definitely use this. So in this case, I'm going to grab my content from here. I'm going to go over here and pop it in here. Now, you must be wondering that in here we had term, and we don't see term anywhere in this pop-up. So what you need to do for term is you can go add parameter, and then you can basically come in here and go UTM underscore term, and then come back into your sheet, copy what you have in term, and this could be like a description or the ad headline, something like that, and pop that value in there. And then you'd hit apply. And what I would do, it was apply this UTM to this ad. So as you can see, it's right in here, nicely formatted. It's saying source is equal to Facebook, median is equal to CPC, campaign is equal to Academy, content is equal to the audience information we have, and then the term is equal to have you seen this, which is going to be our headline for this ad. And then there you have it. We would publish this, and our UTM is set for this ad. So that is static UTMs for Facebook ads. So hopping into here, this is what Facebook covers in this article, and this will also be linked below. It is setting a UTM for your individual ad. You would do this for each ad in your campaign, and then any ads in any other campaign. So basically, you would do this on each ad. Now, let's say you wanted to be a bit more dynamic, and you wanted to have it so that you didn't have to set a unique UTM for every single ad in your campaign or ad set. Okay. So there is another option. So I'm going to go back to build a URL, and I'm going to remove my values just to kind of walk you through this. Okay. And you may have noticed as I was going through here, these pop-ups were appearing and wondering, what are these little drop-down lists that are appearing? So just going to pull these out of here. Give me 1 second. Okay. So Facebook has done something called what they call URL dynamic parameters. In other words, these are dynamic UTMs. That's the easiest way to put it. Now, what does that mean? So what Facebook is saying is we offer the following dynamic URL parameters to place on your ads. What this means is that if you want to have the ad ID added to your URL parameter, you would have this in your URL parameter. If you wanted the campaign name, you'd have this. If you'd wanted the ad name, you'd have this. If you wanted the ad set name, you'd have this. So what you could do in Facebook ads, following our teaching on how to do the traffic targeting toolkit and how to have good, useful UTMs so you can tie your traffic together, what you could do is name your campaign such that I would definitely always keep the source as Facebook and the campaign meetings as CPC. But when it comes to campaign content and term, you could potentially name the campaign the product or service you're promoting. So maybe all your campaigns that promote the Academy are called Academy. If that was the case, I could then use a dynamic parameter campaign name. If that's not the case, then I could still put my product and service here. And then in content and term, I can include dynamic parameters such as ad set name, because maybe my ad set name includes my audience information. And then for UTM term, I could do something like ad name. By having this, what it would do, it would automatically pull the parameters from whatever your ad set name is, an ad name, and then send it over as the campaign content and campaign term. Now, there's a few things to note when you use dynamic parameters. One thing you have to note is it's going to take the value that was first set for that ad set or ad, or the value that was first set for any of the parameters in here. So if you change your ad set name as the ad set is running, it will always default to the first value. The same is true for the ad name. The other thing you should know is you can definitely string together parameters. So this is a little bit, we're heading further into the valley here. We're kind of going a level up, but you can also do something like add a hyphen, and you can add multiple parameters in here. So maybe I want the ad name, and then I'm actually just going to go here, and I'm going to go back into this article, and I'm going to grab the ad set ID. Sorry, just need to grab this, copy. So you could do things like this if you really wanted IDs as well. You can totally pass them. I'm going to go grab ad ID, this one right here, and pop it in here. So you could also do that as a level up. But as I mentioned, good enough to get going is simply having source, medium, campaign, and then possibly add in content and then add in term. And that is how you can set your URL parameters on your Facebook ads. Now, We've all been there, including myself, where I have multiple ads running. I'm just going to back out of here. I'm going to say close. We have multiple ads running, and the one thing that's hard to see at this level is, oh my God, which one of my ads actually has URL parameters? I have totally been there as a Facebook advertiser and as a measurement marketer, okay? So what can you do? So you can come over here to columns, and you're going to click on it, and you're going to go down to customize columns, okay? And Facebook has a little sneaky thing in here that you can use that makes your life easier, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in the search. I'm going to look for URL, okay? I honestly, the first time I did this years ago, I wouldn't tell you, I looked for UTM. But you have to look for URL, okay? Because that's what Facebook calls it, okay? Just need to spell it properly, and you could just check the box there, and then it'll be at the bottom here. You can TBV, trust but verify it's there, and hit apply. Yeah, so it looks like nothing happened, right? I've totally been there. What you have to do in Facebook is scroll all the way to the ending, and you will see it. And as you can see, it shows you the URL parameters for your Facebook ad. So the great thing you can do is a lot of us, especially myself, back in the day when I used to run Facebook ads, I've had 20, 30 ads running for some clients, and they're all back here, and I'm like, oh, which ones have? This is a great way to do it because you can easily see which ones do or don't have parameters and then be able to update those ads because then you can just go edit to that specific ad. But there you have it. That is how you add UTM parameters to your Facebook ads, either using a dynamic or static approach. Alrighty, so what was your one thing? Was your one thing that you could just add static or dynamic UTMs to Facebook ads? Or was it that reporting hack where you could see the URL parameters for all your Facebook ads as a report? For me, especially, that was game changing for me. Now, if you found this useful, hit subscribe and stay tuned for a lot of new exciting content we have coming out in the coming weeks. Definitely great stuff, and you're going to want to be informed. So if you really want to stay informed, hit subscribe now. Now, at the start, I mentioned the measurement marketing framework and how you can learn more about this framework and how you can potentially sign up for our free Toolbox membership that gives you access to many of these tools, including our traffic tracking toolkit, which I showed you during this workshop for free. To join the Academy and to learn more about the Academy and our Toolbox member, you can go to measure.tips/getacademy and it'll tell you all the good stuff. You can learn about Ask Instructor. And if you have questions, you can also reach out to us, right? So there you have it. That is adding UTMs to Facebook ads.